All right, so basically we break down what you have to do into 3 different phases. There's pre-launch, launch, and post-launch. Unlike a web app or something where you can do like soft launch, hard launch or something, it's binary. You are either launched or not launched. With Android, it's a little bit easier to be great, but with iOS, with Apple, you're either in the App Store or you're not. So it's a lot different. And there's a lot of things that you need to do in pre-launch to create the buzz to get ready for that moment when you launch. One of the mistakes that we often see people make is they develop the app and then they think of marketing as an afterthought. We suggest the day that you come up with the concept for what the app's going to do, you come up with the concept for how you start marketing. And you do both those at the same time, because often the marketing effort is greater than the development effort, is what we've seen for very successful apps. So the first thing that you want to do is create a plan. And this is step 1 of 21. And I could spend a lot of time on this, but the plan is for the next 20 steps. So you need to plan out all those other things that are going to come after this. So then the next thing you're going to do is create a teaser site. It's a web page. It's one page, and it's to get people to come up to your site. The idea is to capture emails so that when your product's ready, that you can now blast this out and get people to come to you. It's a real simple strategy that you just have this. We're going to have other strategies that drive people to this site, you know, but this is a good thing, and you'll capture all the addresses of people like this who want to find the soulmate within.
We did not develop this, but
yeah, we did not. This is just, I was just like randomly looking for a pre-release thing, and I happened on this, and I'm like, really? But I guess that this works for someone. The other thing you want to do really quickly is you want to set up analytics. Google Analytics are fine at this stage. They're harder to use later. But right now, you just want to know how many people come to this site and how many sign up, and whether or not you're driving it. Because later on, then you can do things like, so where it says get notified when app is available, you can say things like, stay in touch with us and get updates or something like that, and you'll be able to see which one of those phrases works better in getting more people to sign up. More people sign up here, the more likely that you are to get downloads later. The next thing that you want to do is get tweeting. You need to go on Twitter and start to build followers. You want to start looking for people who are interested in whatever it is. If you're doing business apps, then in that business sector, you want to start doing searches on Twitter, and then you follow all those people who do that. And you want to drive them to your other site by including a little URL, you know, that's shortened through Bitly or Twitter or whoever you use to do your URL shortening to drive them there, and you can track that traffic through. And then anybody who retweets you, follow all of them, because this person thought it was most valuable to let their followers know, so they'll go out and follow all those people. And generally once a week you go through and see who doesn't follow you back, and then follow all those people. But the goal is to get a huge amount of followers, like 10,000 followers before you launch. I know that sounds like a lot, but you can actually do this if you just keep up with this on a regular basis. I always tell people who are marketing apps, you need to spend an hour a day figuring out what to tweet. Some of that's finding interesting articles for the audience, but then you can use software like Timely, which means that you'll find 5 articles that you think are interesting either through your RSS feed or reading your own Twitter feed or whatever, and then use Timely to say, well, this one will go out at 2 o'clock and this one will go out at 10 o'clock and something like that. So if they go out at different times of day, well, now I'm doing all kinds of other stuff. I'm not really tweeting, but everyone thinks I am. You know, Bernhard is the master of this. He was in the Philippines, and he was tweeting it.
oh yeah, and so you know, what I try to do is when I am going to be going away on vacation, I will collect a whole bunch of things to tweet on ahead of time. It doesn't take that long, hour or 2 hours, and then I just fill up my Timely queue. And I actually was tweeting 3 times a day from the Philippines without finger. I was just had that queued up ahead of time, and I try to do that usually once a week as much as possible. real time saver in terms of that, and that's great tracking on that kind of thing as well, in terms of seeing what kind of reach you have, and how many repeats and click-throughs and such you have. And it's free. It's the basic version is free.
So the next thing you want to do is you want to start getting Facebook fans. If you set up a Facebook fan page, it's going to set up a wall as a default. And you need to make sure that people who come there who aren't who aren't fans of your software, they get to a landing page. And if you just go up and do a search on Google, just search for Facebook landing page, it'll tell you how to do this really, really easily. But you want to create like another page. This is one for Angry Birds. The idea is to drive everyone to like you. So if you read this, it's all about the thumbs there, everything. Oh, you're going to get exclusive content, you get news. You want them to like you. Why do you want them to like you? Because you can tell them when your app's released. Right? So you're just trying to build this big group of people. It's actually really easy to do, but not enough people do that. So once they like you, then they go to your wall where they can read all the announcements about your app. But until then, they only see this until they like you. So that's a good way to start, again, creating a following that you can get to, that you can market to at a later point.
So then the next thing you want to do is you want to put a teaser on YouTube. YouTube is actually the second largest search engine out there. It's obviously LinkedIn to Google as well, but it's obviously video is extremely impactful, and your videos don't really have to be huge. In this case, this is a 20-second video. It's stuff that converts. When you have things out here, you want to make sure that you embed these videos in your teaser site. You want to make sure you have links through to your teaser site from the videos, and you want to track traffic, and you want to track comments on this. The other thing you want to do is to generate excitement with your blog. So blogging is a great way of showing thought leadership on a topic, of engaging with an audience. It fits in very well with YouTube, with Twitter. You have content of your own that you can refer to, but you can also engage with other bloggers and other people that are thought leaders in your area by commenting on their posts, by responding and going through what other people are talking about, and it's a great way of engaging with your audience. You obviously want to track this. Google Analytics is good enough at the beginning for doing this.
So the next thing you want to do is you want to get ready for the App Store. That is a whole bunch of different activities. The first thing you want to do is you really want to think about your name. There's two different types of search in app stores. There's what I call quick search, or you might call autocomplete or autofill or something like that. So as you're typing along, it's looking at either the name of your app or the name of your company and trying to guess what's the right one, and it keeps making all these suggestions. So let me think. Let's say you had a telephone contacts app, which you wouldn't have, but let's just pretend that you did. If you had the word phone, it's very likely that that would come up in the autocomplete search, and nobody would ever get to the search page, so that they would immediately see that, click on it, and go. Because in the Apple App Store, like 45% of all searches never actually get to their what's called full search. In Android, it's a little bit less, but it's client. Because Android, the App Store usage is a lot less than it has been on iPhone. So it's important to think about how do you name your app, and you want to name it with something that has something to do with your product, or you just have to spend more money in marketing. You want to call your your phone message tracker something like Watusi. Well, now you have to spend money connecting people with what does Watusi have to do with it, and you have to name it that because it was your grandmother's favorite dance or something. So the other thing is, once you have a name picked out, you can also, remember, it searches on both the name of your app and your company. So this is a brand new thing for you. Name your company phone something too, because then that will also come up in the list, and inquiring people might just like click that instead of go. then you're much more likely to drive people to your app. Next thing you want to do is you want to find out what category that you're going to be in. And sometimes you're in borderline, so you need to go and look and see who's leading that, how long they've been doing it, a little bit of competitive research. So it's really important to pick your category in an app store. That takes a little bit of time and research. Once you have done that, you kind of like want to choose some compelling screenshots of your app. And we do this as we go. So we just want to put some of those images up on our website. And later on we'll talk about like how to get those in various different places. Like Flickr, again, a great social media thing, so you can stick them in there and you get indexed right away. And also you want to start beginning on your marketing copy. What are you going to write that's compelling and stuff like that? Then you can start sharing it with people and getting feedback on whether or not that copy is the right thing. And again, you're going to do this way before your app's done, because otherwise your app's just going to sit there while you're doing this, or you're not going to have it, and then it's going to go up in the store and you're not going to sell anything. But I'll give you a hint on what comes at launch. When you launch, you have this very small window of opportunity where you are in the new apps. And so you're like up there. People see it when they go into the store. And if you squander that by not being ready, you just missed this beautiful window of opportunity. Because now you just drop to the bottom of the list. Because search shows result by the number of downloads. So that's what I'm saying, you need to do all this stuff first, because if you go up and you're not ready, you just missed an opportunity.
So another thing you want to do